Certainly there are many other reasons Mary could be disturbed about while thinking of the angel's visitation, and that's why it is so important that she gives as a response these words, "I am the handmaid of the Lord," said Mary. "Let what you have said be done to me." You see, my friends, no matter what circumstances you face today, it cannot be that bad to disregard this great example which the Virgin Mary gives us in these last hours of Advent on the fourth Sunday. Friends, Christmas this year is truly a unique season, also because of its rather peculiar timing. On the very same day today, the fourth Sunday of Advent, we also are about to celebrate the Christmas Vigil as well. A rather strange gospel reading, once again, is given to us also this Sunday. Strange because tonight we are about to hear of Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. And what do we hear about this morning on Sunday? It's taken from the Gospel of St. Luke, which speaks about the very beginning, the Annunciation. We read in this Sunday's Gospel, "The angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man named Joseph of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Mary." You know, it really is of great importance that once again we start this Christmas celebration almost like from the beginning. I wanted to make it a point over those last Sundays of Advent and to constantly underline how different it is to look at the meaning of Christmas from the faith perspective, from the Catholic perspective, and the popular understanding of Christmas nowadays. And that's why we began Advent with the end of the Gospel story, when on the first Sunday of Advent, Jesus, the Lord, urged his disciples, "Stay awake," he said. And that's also why we heard over the second and the third Sunday of Advent about John the Baptist, the witness, preparing the way for the Lord. And that is also why today, at those last hours of Advent time, we hear about angel's visitation with this tremendous news. He spoke to Mary, "Rejoice, so highly favored. The Lord is with you." Indeed, that's also what we think about this news. Mary should be excited. Mary should be happy because of how highly she was favored over any other creature on earth. But instead of that, rather a worrying reaction is noted in the Gospel. We heard in the Gospel again, she was deeply disturbed by these words, and she asked herself what this greeting could possibly mean. And even though the angel explained and he calmed down her first reaction, the fact that Mary was deeply disturbed, I think, should stay with us for a moment this last Sunday of Advent, these days of Christmas celebration as well. Certainly, there were many reasons why Mary could feel disturbed, worried, even concerned by these words of the mysterious messenger from heaven. The main problem was the one which was expressed by Mary herself. She spoke to the angel, "But how can this be? How can this come about since I am a virgin?" Of course, from the Christmas perspective, we know quite well that this concern was quickly overcome by the trust Mary put in God. and also through the great obedience which Saint Joseph had and put in God himself. But nonetheless, some worries remain, and especially now, just hours before Christmas celebrations, because it is almost Christmas. This really remains a valid point. She was greatly disturbed and stayed with her on the road to Bethlehem, for example. Will they find a peaceful land, the land torn apart as they flee from the exterior powers of Rome, taking over their land, their people? We know that Roman Emperor Augustus decreed a census of his empire. Also, Judea, which was Mary's land, would have been seized to be independent. And their journey would have been very challenging as well. It's been 86 miles to Bethlehem from Nazareth, a travel in the middle of winter season, a journey full of dangers, full of discomforts. Also, the Bible has many references to the wild beasts, wild animals in the land of Palestine. And so a family, an ordinary family certainly wouldn't travel at that time. Let's see another obstacle. She was greatly disturbed in their search for a room where she could safely rest and she could safely deliver her baby. We know there was no room for them in the inn at Bethlehem, or as Saint Joseph writes in the Gospel of Saint John, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. Finally, Mary could be, and she was indeed, greatly disturbed in the place she was about to deliver. And let's beware of thinking about this place as a wooden structure or as we imagine it commonly, a crib, because it was a cave or a dugout, a shelter for dirty animals, in bad weather especially. And so the reality of that night is far distant from what we commonly imagine. Saint Jerome, a great translator of the Bible, describes it as something little better than a hole in the ground. And he would know it very well because he was living in similar circumstances of his own choice for around 30 years. So certainly there were many other reasons Mary could be disturbed about, thinking of the angel's visitation. And that's why it's so important what she gives as a response. It is really tremendous. She answers, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let what you have said be done to me. I am the handmaid of the Lord. You see, no matter what circumstances you and me, we face to get today, it cannot be that bad to disregard this great example which the Virgin Mary gives us in these last hours of Advent. Whether it is a poor health, whether it's solitary, isolation, lack of money, anything else, what matters the most for us is to recognize that awesome invitation which God sends us through the faith He gave us. And we may be disturbed. We may not know what is the next step to make in our lives, but what we are asked is to become a servant, a handmaid of the Lord, as Mary did. Our Christmas celebrations begin and end with this attentive listening to God and asking Him to show us the way forward. Does it mean that all our worries and concerns will disappear? No, not at all. But through this constant reliance on God, we always find peace in all circumstances of life. May this be this final and main wish of this Christmas season for myself and for you. Merry Christmas. May God bless you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my Sunday sermon, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to share it with others. God bless you.